beautiful, love you, the world is me, Queen Nightmare, and I'm going to do a part 3 to, I still can't remember the name of this. My Love. I was going to say Love Actually, and I was like, I don't, telling everyone. Harry's POV. Hey, Professor, I asked on our walk to breakfast. Yes, Harry, he replied. Also, you don't have to call me Professor, he added. When and how are we telling everyone our situation? I asked, and he looked at me with a smirk and tugged at his lip. That, my Harry, is a surprise, he said, making me blush. What should I call you then? I asked. He cocks an eyebrow at me. You can call me Severus or my love. You can tell that made me smile. Whew. It's getting spicy. That was intense. I need to eat Takis. I miss Takis, he says, and I nod. Okay, mi amor, I say, and kiss him on the lips. When we reach the doors to the Great Hall, he smiles and we walk in. Severus's POV. When we reached the Great Hall, Harry kissed me, and we walked in. I walked up to the headmaster and asked him to speak to the school about me and Harry's situation, and he nodded, letting me stand at the podium. Hello, my fellow students. As us professors have gotten word that one of you is a Vila heritage, I start and look at Harry. He smiles and blushes, then looks down. And that he has found his mate already. I am the mate of said Vila. Harry, please come up here, I say as he gets up and walks over to me. What are you doing, Severus? He mumbles. Revealing our situation, I say. I say and look back out to the awestruck students. Now, said Vila is Harry, and I am his mate. If any of you have questions, you may come to us. You may get back to eating, I say, turning to Harry, and I gave him a passionate kiss on the lips and sent him back to his table, blushing like a madman. Harry's POV. What was that about? Ron asked as I sat down. You heard him. We're mates, I said, looking at Severus and smiling. Okay, we have transfiguration today, he said, and Hermione hit him. Oi! What'd you do that for? And why'd you go and do that for? Sorry, I didn't say it right. He asked, and she whispered something in his ear, very harshly, because he shut up after that. Time skip to after breakfast. Hey, Golden Boy, what'd you have to do to manipulate the professor that he's your mate? Shove off, Malfoy, Ron said angrily. Just asking, Weasel. I didn't do anything to Severus. I am a Vila, and he is my mate, I told him, showing my wings in an intimidating way. After that encounter, we went to Transfiguration. Time skip to after Transfiguration. We were walking to lunch when Malfoy stopped us in the hallway. Seriously, I don't see why Snape would accept being your mate. He doesn't even love you, he said. Ron and Hermione snapped at this. Hey, why don't you shove off, Malfoy? Ron asked. I'm just wondering why Snape would want someone as horrid as the Golden Boy, he said, walking off. You okay, mate? Yeah, I said. I'm going to the bathroom, I added, walking off. When the Golden Trio walked in the Great Hall, There was only 2 out of 3 of them. When I noticed Harry was gone, a new wave of sadness washed over me. I felt something on my arm and realized what happened. I ran to Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. When I walked in, I heard sobs coming from one of the stalls. I opened it, and he was lying on the floor with blood on his wrists. I'm contemplating on my will to live. Whew, that was not fun. I will get back to another part, but wait just a second. And here we go. Sorry, there was an ad. The things they say. I'm author's note. I'm sorry if this one is way too depressing for some of you. I'm just currently in an annoyed, depressed state right now. Oh, you can definitely tell when the author's mood is sour. Harry's POV. When I looked up at Severus, was there with tears in his eyes. I wondered why he was crying. I mean, he didn't love me, did he? I pulled my arms from him. Leave it alone. You don't love me, and these are the remainders of my days. I found out the truth, I said, looking down, crying. Oh, Harry, sweetie, who told you this? He asked, with a newfound look of concern mixed with anger. Malfoy told me, he said, you wouldn't want someone as broken as me, who you were forced to love, I said, full of sobs. At this point, he looked down, not wanting me to see the anger in his face. Harry, what he said isn't true. I do love you. I knew you were my mate since you were in the womb, he said, lowering his voice at the last part. What does that mean? I asked, curious and concerned. It means I'm a vampire, Harry, he said. I sensed you in your mother's womb, and for that I thought she was my mate when it was you. I was connected to you. He added, looking at me. Oh, I didn't know you were a vampire. You look like you aged a bit, I said, lowering my voice at the last part. I didn't age. It's glamour, he said, looking at the ground. Can I see you without the glamour? I asked, curious as to what he looked like without it. He looked down. He took the glamour off and saw a man in his teens or 20s. He was very handsome, and his black eyes didn't have the look of coldness in them, like they always did. Well, Sevy, you're handsome, I said. He looked away shyly. Thanks, Emerald. I was 19 when I turned into one, he said, and smiled. So he wasn't that much older than me, after all, I thought. I got up. So he is technically still illegal, because in the States, technically, if you're in the state of Minnesota, at the age of 16, you are at the age of consent, but only when someone is 2 years older than him. So I don't know what year he's in. I got up and held up my hand out for him to take it, and he did. We walked out of the stall and down to his quarters, completely forgetting he had on no glamour to hide his true form and age. Sevy, your glamour's still off, I said, and he looked panicked at all the students filing into the hall we were in. He pulled up his hood, and we stooped into an empty classroom where he put back on the glamour. After that incident, we walked down to his room, and I fell asleep. "Hey, Emerald, it's almost time for dinner," he said, shaking me awake. "I'm not hungry," I said, turning around, not facing him. "Too bad. You're going to have dinner," he said, picking me up, placing me on my feet. "Only if you carry me. I get to wear one of your robes," I said, looking at him. "Fine, here," he said, throwing me one of his robes, and I smiled and put it on. He picked me up on his back and walked us to the great hall. He put me down in the entrance hall so I could walk in front of him. That way, he made sure I didn't leave. I pulled the hood of his cloak over my head and walked in. Of course I couldn't see, but looking down at my feet as I was walking to my house table. "Hey, Ron, Hermione," I said, happily sitting down. Before I could put anything on my plate, I heard Sevy behind me. "Yes, Sevy?" I asked, never taking off the hood. "Believe you are a Gryffindor, not a Slytherin," he said, startling me. I took off the hood and I realized I was sitting next to Malfoy. Oh. I would literally punch Malfoy in the face. The thing is, I'm not very, as nice as Harry is, but, I'm the one that's like, "You want to fight with me? Try it." Obviously, you, oh, sorry, I must have not seen where I sat. I apologized to the people in green sneering at me. "Obviously, you didn't," he growled. "If you would take off that oversized cloak you would have seen, honestly. I wouldn't believe Snape would date you when you look like a weasel," he said, with Sevy listening closely. "Now, Mr. Malfoy, no need to be so rude," he said. He said he was sorry, and that happens to be my cloak he is wearing," he said, kissing my cheek and walking off. I, of course, was blushing like a madman, and Malfoy had no newfound look of disgust on his face. "Fags," he muttered. I don't know how many times I have said that in a book, and it still doesn't get easier. You know, I'm just gonna get used to it. Like, someone would call me a fag, I'm like, "I love you." I'm so used to the hate. It's just not bothering me anymore. He muttered as I walked away from the table. But instead, I went to the bathroom, my blade in my pocket. Oh my gosh, I walked very fast to Morning Myrtle's bathroom, sat in front of the stalls, slashing at my wrists. I was satisfied by the marks. Walking back to dinner, Sevy gave me a quizzical look as I walked back in, but nodded my head to tell him I was okay. He didn't feel the pain I was inflicting on myself because I cast a spell to block out the feeling of pain. Oh no. "Hey guys," I sighed, and they replied, merely waving. Hermione was the only one to start up a conversation because Ron was too busy inhaling the food to notice we were talking. "What was that about, Harry? And why are you wearing Snape's coat?" she said. She asked, oh wait. "What was that about, Harry? And why are you wearing Snape's cloak? Coat, like clout, but it's cloak," she asked, looking puzzled. "It's nothing. I just couldn't see where I was going, and I'm wearing his cloak because I can, I said, putting a little bit of mashed potatoes, chicken, and fruit on my plate. There was sausage, but I wasn't hungry for that type of sausage. I was hungry for a different kind of sausage. When you know a whore, when you hear this. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Joke. God was disappointed. He choked me. No, I mean, when you walked out instead of coming to the table, she said, looking up from the book in her lap. Oh, that, yeah. It was nothing. I just had to use the bathroom, I said, smiling at her. Okay, she said, looking back at her book in her lap. I ate what was on my plate and spoke through mind length to Severus. I'm going back to our room. I ate a bit before you ask. I said, well thought. Okay, Emerald. I'll see you in our room, he thought. Back to me, and I stood up and left. As I entered the entrance hall, Malfoy and his cronies, I was going to call them cronies, stopped me. Where are you going, Potter? He asked. I rolled my eyes and tried getting past them, but Crabbe's fat hand grabbed me. I'm just going back to me. Severus is in my room, I said, trying to escape the fat hand that gripped tighter around my arm and threw me against the wall. I groaned in pain when my back and head hit the wall. How many times do I have to tell you? You aren't good enough for my godfather. You will never be good enough for anyone. He said, I'm sure, but now the pain-blocking charm wore off, and he felt everything that was happening. Sure enough, a few moments later, he showed up and listened to Malfoy not making his presence known until he heard what he was saying. My godfather doesn't even love you. He just doesn't want to reject you so you live, he said, and Crabbe and Goyle laughed. So now you understand you're nothing but trash, who isn't good enough for anyone, he said, and at that, Severus emerged from the shadows as he was about to punch when I didn't answer. That's enough, Draco, he said, trying to hide a growl. I believe 50 points from Slytherin each in detention tomorrow at 8 for this behavior is a reasonable punishment. Yes, sir, Malfoy said, looking at him. We'll be there, right, boys? He added as his cronies nodded. They walked off, before giving one last sneer. Let's go, love, Sevy asked, picking me up, bridal style, and carrying me to our room. When we got there, he put me down and went to our bedroom. While I went to the bathroom to shower, I locked the door, took out the blade again, and I slashed my wrists, almost deep enough to kill me, but I'm not doing that yet. I also slashed my chest. I got in the shower and knocked a couple of bottles down and slipped. So Severus didn't think anything of the pain. When I was done, I went to our bedroom, and Severus was in his boxers reading a book. Ooh. What was with the pain and the bottles falling? He asked, like I knew he would. Oh, it's okay. I just slipped in the shower, I said, pulling down my long sleeve shirt. Harry, I heard him ask, putting down the book. Yes, Sevy? I asked, trying to seem innocent. You know, us vampires can smell blood, right? He asked. Damn, I completely forgot about that detail. Oh, yeah, I forgot. But thanks for reminding me, I said, going over to him and sitting on his lap. Want to tell me why I smelt blood coming from the bathroom? He asked, and I started panicking. I just cut myself when I slipped, I said quickly. Panic was obvious in my voice, but ignored it. Really? 'Cause there's nothing sharp in the bathroom. So why are you wearing long sleeves to bed? He asked in a calm voice. Because it gets cold in here at night, I said, quick, but he didn't take it. Well, you never complain about it in the mornings, he said. Show me your wrist, Harry. He added, and I fumbled with the shirt, pulling up the sleeves of my arm. I didn't cut. He shook his head. Take your shirt off, Harry, he said, and I smirked. We're not doing that now. Now, take off your shirt, he said. I smirked. We're not doing that right now. Take off your shirt, he said, getting annoyed with me. I rolled my eyes and pulled my shirt off, looking down afterward. Oh, Harry, why? He asked. I shrugged. I knew why, but I didn't want to get into it. Please tell me, Emerald, he begged. Well, with all the stuff Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia and Dudley do to me in the summer holidays, and with what Malfoy and his Goonies do, it doesn't help with everything I think of myself, I said, trailing off, and flinching when he started tracing the slashes on my chest. Harry, don't believe them. You're beautiful. And you'll be coming home with me during the summer from now on. We are mates after all, he said. And I smiled. That was the first time he said that about me out loud. Why didn't you tell me about us being mated when you saw me? I asked, and he shook his head. Harry, I didn't want you to think I was some kind of pedophile teacher wanting to get in a student's pants. I wanted you to find out yourself, he said, and I nodded while yawning. How about we get some sleep? He asked, and I nodded and I kissed him on the lips before getting off him and crawling up next to him. I love you, Sevy, I said. I love you too, Emerald, he replied, and with that, we greeted sleep, cuddled up together. Author's note, I just realized that I used one of the nicknames off of my Smut Fluffy one-shots, so I'm sorry to anyone who read those and are scared for life. Scarred for life. I don't know what you're talking about, but I have a thing. My cat at home, not at my grandma's right now, where I am, is called Emerald. So when I was reading this, what the heck is wrong with my bracelet? This is gonna hurt. Hold on a second. There we go. I was looking at something on my bracelet because it's elastic and I had a string coming out and I was gonna take it out, but I was gonna snap it against my wrist and I hate that. I only do that for therapy. But Emerald is actually my cat that I have at my mom's house. So when I was doing this, I love you too, Emerald, and I'm like, Wait, is this a furry? I'm kidding. I can't. Don't kill me. Oh my gosh. I looked ahead and I regret it. Okay. I made this longer because I had 2 parts in here and I wanted to cap it off with 2 parts. Hold on a second. I was gonna burp. Do you hate it when you want to sneeze and then you don't sneeze? I hate that all the time. Anyways, guys. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna burp and I can't get that. Like, I have like a big air bubble in my throat and I can't get rid of it. Thank you guys for so much. Be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. I love you guys so much. And, well, if you guys actually do want any merch, it's... Oh, I'm sorry, that came from my laptop. I was watching Couples Court because I'm a loner, and it makes me not want to date anyone. Anyways, there's, I was gonna say, if anyone wants my merch, it's always down there. And if you want me to activate any of my merch again, I will. I just need you to let me know if you actually want the merch. Because people are saying that, like, I've had this for almost a year now for merch. And no one, well, not almost a year, but pretty much almost a year. Maybe 6 months. I'm not too sure. But please check it out if you actually do want merch. If you have suggestions what you want on merch, let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching. I love you so much. I'm sorry, I've been talking for a long time, but I like talking to you guys. Be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. Bye-bye.